Technology is a complex and volatile industry. That is why it's high time to step up and call bullshit on big tech firms that only spew information that benefits them. This is With Absolute Specificity, the program that's unafraid to shoot from the hip about all things tech and marketing. Get your dose of accurate information with a generous portion of humor right here. Get frank wisdom and plain-spoken facts straight from the source with host Jason A. Wood. You can count on him to bring the harsh yet practical truths to the surface. Get ready for another episode of With Absolute Specificity.
Welcome to With Absolute Specificity, the podcast all about doing shit on purpose. Today, we've got Lisa Miller, one of the owners of Do Cut out of Warren and Youngstown, Ohio market. And Lisa and Do Cut have been a client of ours for a long time and one of our very favorite clients. And she's just a trip. And you guys are going to see the fun side of Lisa Miller on this because she's going to let it rip today. So, Lisa, thanks for joining us today. How's the weather up there in Northeast, horrible Ohio? And I'm speaking just to the weather.
According to my watch, it is a balmy 31 degrees and it's going to snow in 16 hours. Thanks. And I love your background, by the way.
Well, like we talked about before we jumped on, you've got a background down here in Florida too. For some unknown reason, you just choose to be in overcast, snowy, cold, gloomy Northeast Ohio. You know, when I moved down here, I told everybody, love the people. Don't miss the climate at all.
Yeah. Well, someday.
Yeah, but you know, I'll tell you what, great caveat or a great transition here. The climate up there is great for business though, right?
Yes, we are. We're selling snowblowers every day, thank goodness. So, that keeps us going in the wintertime.
Yeah, well, you guys are selling snowblowers in August though, right?
We do. We always sell snowblowers when it's, between 90 and 100 degrees out. It's crazy. On the hottest day of the year, we sell snowblowers. Yeah.
So, Lisa, do me a favor, just for our listeners and viewers of this podcast. I always like to start off with having our guests kind of give us a background of how Lisa Miller got into this business. So tell us about your business, tell us about the products that you have, and tell us how you ended up running Do Cut.
Well, my father started our company 75 years ago. This
Do
year,
Cut.
We celebrated our 75th anniversary. He actually started sharpening chainsaw chains and reel mowers, REEL. Those are the kind of like mowers you see on a golf course.
Oh, okay.
The pool behind. So he got into business doing that. They had 5 children at the time. Came home and told my mother he quit his job. She almost had a nervous breakdown. And they dove in with both feet and started our company. We eventually had 2 stores in the late 70s. We built a beautiful store in Canfield, Ohio, and expanded into the hardware. So we were True Value Hardware. At one point, we did have 4 stores, but that was a little tough to manage. They were pretty close together, so we were taking market share from the other ones, and that wasn't a smart thing to do.
Right.
But then, unfortunately, in 2011, we lost that beautiful store we had in Canfield to a fire. We reopened down the street and then rebuilt back on that corner, and we've been back on that corner now for 5 years. And I have 6 siblings. Everyone is unfortunately passed on or retired by now. So here I am with 2 other partners who have been longstanding employees of ours for like 30 to 40 years. And it's been a ride. We're 5 years in and we're loving it. So
30 to 40-year-old employees or employees. So retention's a real problem for you, huh?
Yeah, kind of. It's tough. It's getting the new ones now, which I think everybody's experiencing. So, it's just, we have a very niche business where we actually sell outdoor power equipment. So lawnmowers, chainsaws, zero turns, tractors, snow blowers, trimmers, handheld blowers, all of those things. And not only do we sell them, but we service them and we have parts for them. So, anybody can sell something. That's what I always say. The easy thing is selling the shiny new stuff out on the sales floor. The tough part is behind the parts and service counter, where, you know, someone's coming in and they need a part or they need something fixed. So, you know, they're obviously not real happy because what they have isn't working. So, you know, it's our job then to service them expertly with parts knowledge, or our service knowledge. You know, our mechanics are schooled and they have to keep up certifications and things like that for us to even have these brands.
Yeah, and that's really kind of one of the core tenets to your business is the parts and service, right? You have a whole other side of your business that just specializes in helping people, whether they bought from you or not. And it's my understanding most of them have not. Can't find the parts, can't find the service, can't get that expert opinion of like, hey, it quit working. Here's the sound it's making, right? The mechanic, you know, story where it's going clunk, 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 and somebody in your company's going, oh, well, we know what that is. And here's what you have to do. So tell us about that side of your business.
Well, hopefully, you know, it's a brand that we can support. You know, we had a quick conversation this morning about, unfortunately, about products that people buy online. You know, retail has drastically changed in this country. You pick up your phone and you're like, hey, oh, I want that. Boom, I bought it, and it's going to be at my house tomorrow. But do you really want a lawnmower or a chainsaw or a trimmer dropped off at your house, and you get it and you don't know how to operate it safely? You don't know how to service it. You don't know how to maybe make that little tweak adjustment that it's going to need when it comes out of the box. That's our job. And that's the message that we need to get out there. We need people to understand, you know, and you might see it at a mass merchant, but again, they don't fix it. They don't take care of it. You got to look behind the wall at the outdoor power equipment dealer and see the guy in the back that's getting greasy every day. And, you know.
Well, so Lise, I'm gonna back that up with a story, and I promised this guy I wouldn't do this today, but I'm gonna do it to him. I won't mention his name, but you and I have a mutual friend that you don't know I'm friends with. I don't think we've ever talked about it, but he's a Youngstown police officer, and he bought a piece of property, and him and his wife and the 3 kids moved onto this property, 3 acres out in Poland. You know where I'm at, and he needed a 0-turn mower. And he came and visited your store. He was looking at, I forget the brand he was looking at, but it was like $4,000 or $5,000. And he said, Jay, he goes, because we were talking about like quality and this kind of stuff with Chinese made versus American, all that stuff is the context of this conversation. He goes, I did the dumbest thing I've ever done. He goes, I went online and I found what looked like to be the exact same thing. He said it was $2,800 instead of $4,500. I mean, those are round numbers. I forget the exact numbers. He goes, I get this thing, I put it together, I use it 3 times, and a part breaks on it. And guess where that 0-turn is now? I can't find a part for it anywhere. So my $2,800 is worth 0. I ended up having to ducktail, go back into do-cut, and spend the $4,500 anyway, and get the quality product. And I love my 0-turn. He goes, but I look at this thing he's got a pole barn, in my pole barn every day. He goes, I don't have the heart to throw it away. But he says, but God damn it, I'm pissed off because it's $2,800 fucking dollars sitting in the corner of my pole barn. And he goes, it's rendered useless, what I think is probably a $20 part, but I can't find it anywhere.
Well, that's the thing. You know, there's rogue equipment that's coming into this country, and people, the consumer, unfortunately, is the victim. And it's really hard. And that's truthfully a message that we need to get out there. You know, it's just like shopping small for anything. You know, I was at the mall the other day shopping, and I saw somebody I knew, and they said, well, why aren't you shopping online? And I said, because I want to support the local business. That's supporting our community. I mean, come on. How am I going to have a storefront if I shop online continually and there's no stores in my community to keep our community going?
Right. Yeah. And, you know, people often miss this too. I mean, I'm guilty because I'm a geek, right? I'm a tech guy. I live on these devices. So I'm guilty of ordering from Amazon all the time. But people don't realize that if you'll take just an extra 45 seconds when you search a product you got to buy, and you just go look at the vendors, you can find a local vendor with a local storefront that simply has an Amazon store and order from them and support them without having to go into the store. If you're a guy like me that, you know, doesn't want to go into the store. But, you know, I'm going to back up, Lisa, because I love your story. I love do-cut for the aggressive stance you guys take in the marketplace. But I want to back up to how your dad started this business, because in my experience in business, and I've been at it for 25 years, I guess, and in marketing, you get to interface with a lot of companies, right? It seems to me that all the really good quality brands all started with a fuck it statement. So your dad comes home stressed out, he's talking to your mom, he can't stand his job, and he's like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to go do this. And bam, 75 years later, not only is there a badass brand in the marketplace, not only is it delivering quality goods to a local economy and employing local people, but it's run by people that are actually participants in the local economy and the community. And it all starts with that, fuck it statement. I'm just going to go do my thing. I've seen Ducut just since I've known you say fuck it in a few things and make moves, bold moves, like after the fire. Fuck it, we're not going to ducktail and go get some little tiny store. No, you guys went big. So tell us about the new location. I know you had a grand opening a while back and all of that, but tell us about the new location, because everybody that I know back then says it's absolutely dope.
It's beautiful. It's called the Ducut Corner because we were there for so many years. The original store was built in 78, right. So we were there for almost, 25, 30 years. And we sold the corner. So the developer built us a beautiful store. So we have a 10,000 square foot store that is absolutely gorgeous. It's, we've already outgrown it, which I guess is a good thing. So here at the store, I'm at the original store here in Warren, so we warehouse everything here and transfer it down there. But, we not only have a beautiful store, but we have great people working for us. And we have a good team that supports our brand, that helps create our brand. And that is so, so important.
Yeah. And I love how you guys stay true to your roots, because in your business, as successful as Ducut is, you guys could easily just close down that flagship store that you've been in forever, go build a brand new one half a mile down the strip there on 422 and show off. And you guys know this is our flagship store. Our customers are going to get to come to us today to the same place they came to us 25 years ago and come to see us and the same staff. It's a beautiful story. Let me move on to this, because one of the challenges that I know you guys face, again, we do some of your marketing, particularly the digital, is big box retailers, right? I mean, these companies like Home Depot and Lowe's, they come in and they bastardize these markets with the low, no service. You have a question, it's some pimply faced kid that just clocked in 4 minutes ago, and he's got football practice in 2 hours, doesn't give a rip about the product. But the big box model just it attracts so many consumers for the reasons that we know, because you can come in and look at a zero turn, but you can come in and buy paint, and you can buy it's a jack of all trades. How has Ducut managed to maintain its threshold and its market position, juxtapose all of these big box retailers? How have you guys stayed successful?
Well, a lot of it is it's marketing, and people don't understand. But if you're going to look at, at this lawnmower at Ducut, and you look at the exact same lawnmower at Home Depot or Lowe's, it's the same price. Okay.
Right.
But what you get from me is value. Okay.
Right.
And that is something that our knowledge is second to none in this industry. It really is. And, it's our job to qualify the customer, to be sure that the piece of equipment that they're looking for is going to satisfy their needs and they're going to be happy. Let's face it, we sell work. We don't sell fun. We don't sell snowmobiles. We don't sell motorcycles. We don't sell ATVs. When you get on a zero turn, you're going out, and it's got a cup holder for your beverage. Okay. But you're working for a couple hours or whatever. So, we want you to be happy while you're doing that work and satisfied. It's just like buying a car from a crappy dealer versus a good dealer.
Right. Yeah. And you can't go back into Home Depot and say, hey, I'm having a problem with this, and I'm not sure what the problem is, because all Home Depot is going to do is show you the new one you can replace it with and buy a brand new one when you got, thousands of dollars into the one you've already got. That's all they know.
They give you our phone number, honey. They give you, They say, call Ducut. That's what they say. So like I said earlier, the easy part is selling it. The hard part's taking care of them when they have a problem. We register we register the warranty for every customer. That's our job. If you buy something at a mass merchant and you come here for service, we have no idea if the warranty's registered. We don't know when you got it. Do you have a copy of your receipt? We don't know.
Right.
That's the benefit of shopping small and staying with a local dealer, no matter where you are.
Right. And, I've always been a believer in it. I don't want to buy a coffee pot from a company that's selling chainsaws and vice versa. I mean, to me, it doesn't make any sense. Now, if I'm buying something that's $3, who cares? I don't care where I buy my my ice cream from. But when it comes to a product that I'm going to put some money into, that I need a return on, so value, I need it to work, I need it to last. I'm not going to buy that from a company that's also selling, hoses and, washing machines and lumber. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Exactly.
And to your point, and I think that's one of your marketing challenges, and that we have with you in marketing, is explaining to the consumer that you can come get like that granular level of service, and it's the same goddamn price. You don't have to pay double or even 5% more. It's the same price. And a lot of these products, I assume, will be price set by the manufacturer sometimes, right?
That's exactly correct. You can't advertise below a certain price. It's, MAP pricing. The other thing is you're constantly up against these big boxes, and they're selling extended warranties now that they don't even support. Okay. They're backed by, Allstate or whoever nationwide. I sell my own extended warranty that's backed by me. Okay.
Right.
You've got my knowledge. You've got
75
my
years.
truck. Exactly. You got my truck picking it up. You got my mechanic working on it. You got my parts guy ordering your parts and help them figure out what's wrong with it if necessary, and stuff like that. That's me. That's Do Cut. That's our brand. I'm not selling some, rogue. I don't want to say rogue, but I'm not selling some crappy extended warranty that, hey, I'm just looking for the extra $200 at the end of the sale, and I'm not going to have to do anything for it. And the guy's going to forget they bought it, by the way, too, and come to Do Cut and think that Do Cut's going to honor that warranty. Not happening, buddy.
That's right. Buy here, pay here. That's right.
Right.
I was talking to one of our clients there. This was yesterday afternoon there, because we have a lot of clients up in your area because we started there. And we were talking about this podcast today, and I've got this one, another one, and this particular guy is going to be on a podcast later this week, and all this is going to launch up in January. And he said, man, I love Do Cut. He says, I can go in. He goes, I can ask for Lisa Miller, and he goes, I can negotiate. I said, oh, so what you're saying is you don't know Lisa Miller. He goes, what do you mean? I said, you think you're going to negotiate with little Italian Lisa Miller? Dude, you're walking out of there leaving money on the table. I probably sold you 4 other things you didn't goddamn need. So you're going to negotiate with Lisa Miller? Good luck with that. So, as far as marketing goes, just to go back to that, I find it really interesting for a brand like yours. It's so easy in a small market to brand when you're 75 years old. You won't come across anybody that doesn't know who Do Cut is, which could be an advantage. That can also be a disadvantage because you're just there. You've been there forever. How do you overcome that in a small market? Like, what's the communication channels that you see impactful to an audience that's just known you forever? Their kids knew you, their parents knew you. Like, how do you penetrate that in a local market like this?
It's tough. And quite honestly, when we came on board with you guys, okay, I saw younger faces walking through the door. Okay.
Right.
Because it's hard. I don't want to say they forget about us, but they kind of do. Like I had a guy come in yesterday, and super nice guy, and he goes, I come up here for everything. He goes, but I have some friends and they won't come into your store. And I said, we haven't been here for 75 years because we're doing something wrong. I said, and don't get me wrong, we need every customer that walks through our door, but I could offer to give him the money out of my pocket, the shirt off my back, and my shoes, and that customer may still never be satisfied. So it's hard. A funny thing that it's my tagline now. My dad used to say it. My dad used to say Jesus couldn't please 12. And and it's true. What more can I do? But marketing to marketing different ways. We're talking about influencers. Toro has a whole new line of marketing going out this year that's crazy. They've hired these influencers. They've had them now for 2 years, but they're really going to start hitting this stuff hard this year. And we're looking forward to seeing what happens with just an all-encompassing ad. They're going to have more advertising on different stations, different mediums, and things like that. But we noticed a huge difference when we got on board with you guys, just because we're so used to advertising and marketing with our blinders on for so many years. But advertising is the world now. It's in the palm of your hand, and I can do anything and I can find anything in this 3-inch by 5-inch phone that I have sitting right in front of me. And if you're not doing that, forget it. You might as well lock the door.
Yeah. And, I'll tell you this too. I mean, because obviously I'm acutely aware of your whole marketing mix. And one of the things that I hate about my industry is a company like ours will get their hands on a technology like we have, something proprietary. That's great. It's awesome. It's fantastic. And they get so narrowly focused on it that then they start to believe their own bullshit, and that they think this is the only marketing that you should possibly do because it's so effective. And that is like, there's no silver bullet in marketing, man. If there was, take specificity. If we were a silver bullet, then everybody else would be out of business by now. They just close their doors. So it's interesting to me in a market like the Youngstown market, how effective certain communication channels that I would rail against in Tampa are still and remain for you today. Direct mail, for example, that shit works in Youngstown still. It still drives people through the door. It makes the phone ring. And in Tampa, man, people in Tampa, and it's just a difference in markets, right? It's demographic, psychographic, it's all these things. People are happier down here because there's shit to do. And because there's shit to do, they're not going to sit there and read all the junk mail, right? Down here, everybody gets their mail, and I mean everybody, over their trash can. Nope. Okay, that's a bill. Okay, nope. No. And that's the way it is. But up there, communication channels like local TV shows, like Lauren Lindvig has going on up there, like direct mail, that shit is still wholly effective in a market like that. So talk to us about the rest of your marketing mix. What's working for you up there?
Well, I mean, if you can believe it or not, newspaper still works for us.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Absolutely. It's still an effective channel up there.
And radio. And not to be morbid, okay, but years ago, so my oldest brother was 18 years older than me. He was graduating from high school when my mom was pregnant with me in 1965. And, so there was a lot of years there. But anyway, he was a great advertiser. And he began, when we just had this one store here in Warren, we put a Youngstown phone line in. So people from Youngstown and Mahoning County could call us toll free. So that was the stepping stone for us then, to open the other store in Mahoning County. And not to be morbid, but he would always advertise snowblowers on the obituary page because
yeah, that's smart.
Unfortunately, inevitably, somebody died shoveling snow. And really, are you gonna I mean, okay, maybe your ticket was up that day, but are you gonna die holding a snow shovel in 15 inches of snow? Or
right.
And I don't mean to be morbid that way, but we still do that. We still do it. We do remarketing, we do retargeting, we do newspaper, we do TV. We actually can buy local TV better than our manufacturers can. We still do all that stuff.
Well, you have relationships.
Hands-on marketers.
Yeah. And it's just, and you go from across the country in marketing, and we talk to prospects all the time, and I'll have somebody say to me, in Raleigh, North Carolina, that, we know direct mail doesn't work. And I'm like, wait a minute, your demographic shifts 7 years older than the median, right? Not the average, but the median. So if you're telling me that you don't think you're getting anything out of direct mail, you're not tracking. Your problem isn't communication channel, it's analytics. Because I guarantee you, the demographic that exists for your product and your market, they're reading your direct mail. You're getting business from that. And you got to implement something that's going to allow you to track that. Because sooner or later, to your point, that will go away. I mean, it will naturally. The younger audience we're marketing to for you, and all the rest of your marketing mix is handling the other side of your audience. They're converting on all these traditional communication channels. So you would be crazy to stop those. It'd be lunacy in marketing. Right. But as time goes on and our demographic we're marketing to gets to 45, 50, 55, that demographic that engages in those channels will die off, but something else will come and backfill that. And then we'll be the traditional handling that. That's the evolution of marketing. And I think so many companies and business owners get so monolithic in their approach to marketing. We want tech, we want savvy, we want data, or we don't want any of that. We just want that approach is just a losing strategy if you don't take into account your local market, right? I mean, it just makes sense.
Oh, 100%. We're getting ready to send out I don't know, probably 5 to 7,000 service flyers. Now, granted, they're going to our existing customers, okay,
Right.
to keep our mechanics busy all year and get the product, get the lawnmowers in here in the winter months, keep my mechanics working, and then boom, when the grass starts growing, your lawnmower is ready to go. So,
Right.
but the response that we get is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
really, really is.
And it's going to continue to be for years to come. I mean, that is just something. Now, you take the Tampa market, which is more technology driven and more mobile driven. Mobile adoption rates in terms of engagement are a big driver of all this, right? So when you're in a market where mobile adoption rates fall below 60%, if you're not leveraging traditional communication channels, you're missing almost half your market, and that's silly to do that. But in a market like Tampa, where only 25% are not technology or excuse me, are not engaged in mobile engagement, you're silly to overspend on that area. And it's just, you got to take this shit into account with marketing. And I've been watching you guys kind of how you do your marketing mix for years, and you take this Sunday show, and I'm like, you're crazy. And then shit, this stupid little show with 2,000 viewers, and you're selling goddamn $5,000 zero turns off. But I'm like, humbled again. I'll shut up. We'll go after the young.
Well, females make a lot of decisions, and
A lot.
well, yeah. Who told you to wear that shirt today?
Yeah, exactly. There's two types of decision men make. One that their wife let them think they made, and one that their wife just flat the fuck told them to make.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And,
yeah.
And again, I can't tell you how many men come in here and they say, oh, well, that should fit my wife's hands, great. And I'm like, oh man, I go, you better stop and buy something a little smaller in a little smaller box on the way home. If you think you're wrapping up a chainsaw for underneath the Christmas tree, honey.
That's right. That's right. It's like the cliche, buy your wife the new vacuum cleaner for Christmas. Oh. Are you outside of your mind?
That would be the day. Thanks, honey. Here. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Renee would kill me. She would absolutely kill me. I can't imagine the guts it takes to even think that's a good idea.
Oh yeah.
But I'm watching. Just for our viewing audience, because we've not talked about this on the podcast. But Specificity, we got our start in Youngstown. I mean, we were there for 10 years or 8 years. 9 years, I forget how long it's been. But we built and cut our teeth in marketing and technology in the Youngstown market, which was a real challenge because, as you know, Lisa, a lot of business owners out there are very technology adverse. They just, this is what's worked. This is what, this for 50 years. And we're going to, and so you got to cut through that. So the reason we moved to Tampa wasn't that we didn't like Youngstown. I love Youngstown. I love the people up there. I still have a lot of very close friends and clients up there. Instead, I walk in the doors down here and we describe the technology. And they're like, absolutely, we're going to move our budget from here to here and let's rock and roll. And there isn't that aversion. Do you see some of that when you're rolling out new models that have new features and new benefits to it? Do you see some kind of pushback to the market because they've been buying from you for so long and they're just used to what they're used to? And that affinity to stay with what they know? I
think we're going to maybe see a little bit of that with the introduction and a little bit more market takeover with battery powered products. That's going to be a big shift in our industry. I mean, they're estimating half of the walk behind mowers sold next year are going to be battery powered mowers.
Wow, half.
50%. That's a lot of lawnmowers.
What's the percentage of that now? Like 2022?
Oh, I couldn't tell you right now, but it's probably I bet it's not 25%.
So they're going to double the take rate on battery. I'll tell you what, I bought that Ryobi kit from you, was battery powered. I love that.
No, you didn't buy Ryobi from me. You bought Ego from me. Damn it.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm sorry. But it's the only battery powered anything I have for the blower and the mower and all that stuff.
Right.
And I love it. I absolutely love it. You have a new product, and I've been meaning to ask you how the adoption rate of this product is, because I am so a customer for this. And if I still lived in Youngstown, I'd have bought it from you. That fenced off, like battery powered mower that you don't have to do any work. You just set it down. And how's that going?
The autonomous one. Well,
Yeah, the autonomous mower.
they're making some changes to that. Toro's got a really cool one coming out that's going to basically run off the router in your house. No
Wow.
wires, just going to have to walk the yard with this like perimeter tool, and it's going to map it and know where it needs to go, and it can do striping, which the other one can't. But it's kind of slowed down a little bit. We do have some people still, crazy about it. Like I have a really good customer that has 7 acres. He bought 4 of them, and he's got a pond, and he's got all these geese. And he goes, I don't know how to get rid of all this goose shit in my yard. He goes, what the heck am I going to do? We put 4 of these lawnmowers in. There's not one goose in his yard, and he doesn't have any more goose shit. So it's great. He goes, best thing I could ever do to get rid of all this crap in my yard, but
Oh, Lisa, we need to create an audience of people that own a pond and just market that, man. What a great ancillary benefit to a product.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. I think, again, as this battery stuff begins to take off, you're going to see people more receptive to it. I think it's going to start with little stuff, and then, get a little bit bigger, 0 turns, things like that. But it's people are going to be dipping their toe in the water. And then I have some people, they're just like, nope, I want gas, nothing else. I'm not changing. Okay.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah. You mentioned something that I can imagine, and I'm not going to bullshit our audience and pretend like I've mowed a yard in 20 years, because I haven't. I bought a lawnmower from Lisa, battery powered, just because I thought it was cool. And I never mowed the yard with it. I had my landscaping company use it one time because I thought it was cool. And I just buy it. That's so, let's be clear about that. But I remember back in the day when I lived in Cortland, right? And I had a family and some young kids. And, I didn't own my own company. I was in sales. And yeah, you're damn right I mowed my yard. The biggest thing for me when it comes to these autonomous mowers that would be my turnoff, and you said that Toro's going to solve this, is as a man mowing your yard, or even a woman for that matter, mowing your yard, one of the biggest sources of pride when you're done is the striping when it's done. That aesthetic look, I always went diagonal so cars coming both ways could see that I had freshly cut my yard.
Yeah.
That was the biggest knock on the current autonomous mowers, is when you're done, you don't get that aesthetic of a freshly cut yard and just neat and clean.
Yeah, it looks like you ran the sweeper instead of precise lines. Yeah.
The grass is short, but you don't get that. So you're saying Toro's coming out with a product that's going to do striping?
Yep.
Wow, how cool is that?
It'll cut in straight lines. You can have it do a random pattern. You can have it do whatever you want, but it will cut in straight lines. Yeah.
Will it take my fiance shopping so I don't have to?
Well, no. You could say you have to watch the lawnmower so it doesn't go into the pond.
Yeah, Lisa, I'm down here in Florida. I get a crew that comes out here every week, and they just do their thing. It takes them like 6 minutes.
I know.
And you can have 30 acres, and it'll take them 31 minutes. Like these guys down here. Yeah, it's like 3 trucks show up. There's a flurry of activity, and bam, your yard is clean and cut. Trees are trimmed, and they're gone, man.
Yep. There's a science behind it. Yeah.
And I honestly haven't mowed a yard in 20 years, and I've always said to my significant other that I was with at the time, like, I have to support the local economy. That's why I don't mow the yard. It's a sacrifice I make to support the local economy.
That's all right.
Well, Lisa, what do you guys got coming down the pipe? And you already kind of spilled the beans on the autonomous mower from Toro. What else you guys got coming down the pipe on for 2023? What's going on with DuCut for this upcoming year?
Well, we've just finished doing our booking orders, and we're looking for decent fulfillment from the manufacturers, which is a positive. We've had a few issues, the last couple of years, like everyone has had. Some different, like I said, Toro's new advertising is going to be big this year, so we're really excited to be participating in that. There's just some changes, and it's like running a race. You start and you never know what's coming down, what's coming around that first bend. But
right.
We're hoping the economy will support us. We're thinking maybe we'll have a little bit more robust service this year, because people might not be replacing, they may be servicing.
Right.
But we're poised for all of that. Our online sales are brisk, so we when you're in this industry, you have to think outside the box to survive. You really do.
Yeah.
There's
It
so
seems
much
like it.
competition from everything. It's not, I don't think any industry is immune to the effect of online retail anymore. It used to
Right.
be that the grocery industry was a little bit more resilient to that, but not anymore.
Yeah.
You can have anything delivered to your door.
Yeah.
So it's tough. You really have to have a strong will to be an independent business person today. And the best message I can give anybody is just to support local and shop small.
Yeah, and a strong will you certainly have, Lisa. We appreciate you joining us. I got to do a little housekeeping here. Lisa is not only a personal friend, not only a client, but she's also an investor of Specificity, which you can find on the OTC, excuse me, at SPTY. But so I had to do that disclosure. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us. As always, man, we value your friendship, we value your partnership, and we look forward to kicking some ass for you in 2023. And again, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. Merry Christmas and have a great day.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Lise. Thanks again, hon. We love you. We'll talk soon.
All right. Love you. Bye.
You've just listened to another episode of With Absolute Specificity. Stay updated on big tech with insights from industry thought leaders. What are you waiting for? Catch more episodes by visiting the website at www.specificityinc.com. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on future releases.